Let's get updated on what's happening in Austin. We know you have busy days, so we get all the information for you and put it together at night for you. Just after 5:30 this evening, lawyers for suspended Attorney General Ken Paxton, they rested in the impeachment trial.
Kind of smooth day compared to what we saw yesterday. So 9 a.m. tomorrow, they'll get ready to make their closing arguments. Last step before the Senate makes a final decision here on what's going to happen with Attorney General Paxton. So we've got political reporter Jack Fink for us live in Austin. Jack, we know it was kind of a late day wrapping all this up. So wrap us up on what's happened in the last 60 minutes or so.
Well, they have rested, they have gone home for the evening, and really the next big thing is tomorrow morning, as you said, 9 a.m. That's when the closing arguments are going to begin. Each side will have 1 hour to present their case, and then the senators will begin their deliberations in private. Today, the Paxton legal team had 4 witnesses testify, all of them current employees of the Attorney General's office, and all of them to rebut the impeachment articles against Paxton. Among those watching this entire trial is Mimi Swartz, executive editor of the Texas Monthly. Thank you so much. We appreciate it. So really, what has stood out to you in this trial?
What stood out to me is how weak the defense is, actually. I think the prosecution has put on a terrifically strong case, and I'm not sure that the defense has responded in kind.
Well, as we know, this is a political process. Yeah. It's not really a legal criminal trial. So let's talk a little bit about the politics of all this. We know that there's a lot of heat on these 18 Republican senators who can vote on what happens. And so, assuming right now that there are 12 Democrats vote to convict Paxton, they would still need 9 Republicans to join them. Right. So what's your assessment of whether that will happen, and on this political pressure by Paxton's supporters to make that not happen?
You know, I think it's anybody's guess at this point. I think the senators are tired and they want to go home. They're tired of the pressure. But I'll be very curious to see how many minds they were able to change.
And one last question. Senator Angela Paxton, who's the 19th Republican who cannot vote, but she's still in there. What impact do you think her presence has on the rest of them?
I think the absence of her husband may be having more of an impact than her presence.
How so? Because you're talking about the Attorney General not being there for the trial.
I think not being there may finally, it could even tip the scale, I think. I think the senators have been there day in and day out listening to this testimony, and he's tweeting that he's going to go talk to Tucker Carlson, and I'm just not sure how that's going to go over.
You don't think that's going to go over well, it sounds like.
I don't think it's going to go over well, but we don't know. It all depends on how much pressure the people are getting at home, the senators are getting from their voters.
All right, Mimi Swartz, executive editor of Texas Monthly. We certainly appreciate it. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
If senators vote to convict Paxton, he will be removed from office, and then senators could decide to hold an additional vote, and that would be whether to disqualify him from ever holding state office again. Doug, Nicole?
It'll be really interesting to see how this thing comes to an end. Jack, thank you so much. We've got more news for you right here coming up at 7:30.